TGR. What is up, everyone? It's Rudy, and on the other side we got Mr.
Yo, my name is Sonic. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I don't know how that sounds. I'm sorry if it hurt your ears, but it's your boy. God damn it.
Keep it going. Ka-chow. Ka-chow.
Ka-chow, ka-chow. Lightning McQueen. Onyx McQueen up in here.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
I love it. So it's definitely been a crazy week, man. I don't know what it is, but Thursdays just seem to be the days where just hot news drops.
Stuff happens.
It's like...
And this has been a hot week.
It's been
a spicy week, dude.
Caliente.
Like Sriracha and Cholula. Sriracha and Cholula had a baby. And that baby was this fucking week. I said the F word.
You just said the F word. Oh, no.
Dang
we're too
it.
out of time.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Boy.
Now we have to re-record this.
Oh.
Dang.
Anyways, just bleep it if you want. I don't know.
Nah, screw it. One of the biggest things that happened today, VentureBeat at 7:43 a.m. went ahead and reported that there will be no Nintendo Direct planned for June due to work from home hurdles. And this is very saddening. It's like E3 became even worse.
Well, I mean, E3's canceled.
Yeah,
right? So there's no E3 this year, and then it's like, okay, but we're still gonna have that digital event that IGN is gonna host, and then there's nothing stopping the companies from trying to get a video together and showing off whatever they want to show. But this sucks. Nintendo, excuse me, at least in recent years, has been the one that I've anticipated the most.
Mm-hmm. You and me both.
And it just kind of sucks. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, and Nintendo last year was the saving grace, in my opinion.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean,
don't get me wrong. Microsoft threw down. Sony was non-existent.
Yeah,
and
Sony was bye.
EA had a pre-E3 show that was interesting, to say the least. And Bethesda was Bethesda, and Ubisoft was just horrible.
Last year was pretty overall disappointing. We had some really good stuff. Keanu, it was legendary.
Oh, for sure.
But Breath of the Wild 2. I mean,
Panzer Dragoon.
Come
on.
Yeah. The Nintendo last year was kind of exceptional.
Yeah, man.
And I was hoping to see more because what do we know past May?
I don't know. Everything else
Bravely
is like
Default, I think.
Yeah, that's. I think that's it. And then everything else is slated for holiday. Or nothing at all. They're just this is in development.
They're big games. That's the thing. What's their big game this year?
Hopefully, Breath of the Wild 2.
But we're in April.
Yeah, bro.
They got maybe 6 months to release it, maybe 7 at most for November.
You know what I do hope for? I hope for a Metroid Prime Trilogy HD.
That will be an easy one, or that rumored Mario 35th anniversary thing.
Yeah.
That's also supposed to be this year, but I don't know. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, the reason this is happening is because of the pandemic that we're all going through. And I get it. Honestly, hey, I'm complaining about games at this point. Arlo said in one of his videos, it's okay that I'm not going to see a commercial for a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
pretty much what we're sad over.
Yeah.
So there's that. But it's still, it still kind of sucks for the fans.
Right. I mean, it's I've said it before in the past, E3, even though regardless of what the ESA does and whatever, E3 was still kind of like a culmination and a celebration of gaming and just a huge, it's nerd Christmas.
It is.
That's really all it is. So the fact that it's canceled, understandably so, it's still, sad, and a Direct, which is a digital event for all intents and purposes, a pre-recorded presentation, not being released in its yearly June slot is kind of just saddening. That's all, man. It's saddening. 100%
is, yeah. No, it is.
So I don't know, man. I'm hoping for the future. I'm hoping that things turn around and they're just we didn't really want to do June, but we did July. That would be nice.
Maybe it'll come out in a later point. That'd be great, but only time will tell at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. But speaking of the future and everything like that, there is first off, Xbox Series X is going to go ahead and have an Inside Xbox on May 7th, where they're going to go ahead.
Today.
Yeah, a week from today of this recording. Today is April 30th. So patrons and YouTube members will get this first, and
yes,
everybody else will get this the day after. But that being said, somebody tweeted out to Schreier because he shared it, and he was just straight up just like, it begins. And then
he shared the Xbox thing, right?
Yeah, he shared the Xbox announcement from or retweeted it, and then somebody was all like, "Well, what about Sony?" And then Schreier went ahead and said, "A few more weeks, I believe." And you're the one that shared this with me.
Yes.
So, what does that mean?
Dude, a few more weeks, I believe. That means in the next couple of weeks we're gonna see the PS5. That's what I think. I mean, and it makes a lot of sense. I think there were some other rumors that were talking about early June. But I think it makes more sense because if the Xbox Series X is going to show a bunch of games, third party with an emphasis on third party.
Correct.
In a week. We already know how the console looks. We're going to see some more games in a week. Sony's now to the point where they kind of got to show us something. They have to. Like, they can't hold back anymore. You know, E3's not happening, right? So now it's the point where it's like, right, guys, you got to show us something. You know?
Do you remember when the initial reveal of the PS4 was?
The PS4?
Yeah.
I know it was before E3.
Right.
But I don't remember exactly. Maybe like a month before. So yeah, maybe it was around May, actually.
Yeah, because I remember that they it's similar to what they're doing with PS5. They initially released revealed the PS4 controller. And they were like, "Hey, here's our controller, blah 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 blah." And they were all like, "By the way, you can buy this, before the PS4 actually launches." And I remember buying that, but I remember that they revealed the console before E3 even happened.
Yeah, they did. That was a big thing that year because that year, God, Sony played everything right that year.
Oh yeah,
it was DualShock 4,
right,
which looked great. They revealed the console, which looked great. Then at E3, it was. First it was, if I remember correctly, I believe it was the whole used games thing. They were like, "Oh, this is how you're gonna share your games."
I'm pretty sure, by the way, that was done on the spot.
100%.
The moment that Xbox was like, "This is what the Xbox One is, and this is what's gonna happen," Sony execs were like, "We gotta take advantage of this."
Take advantage.
Yep.
So yeah, so it was that. And then the exclusives, right? Or at least the exclusive games they showed.
Right.
Because even though Final Fantasy 15 ended up obviously being multi-platform and Kingdom Hearts 3, they were at that show. And then, of course, 15 was actually versus 13. And then, during the trailer, that changed to 15, which was hype as shit.
Oh, yeah.
And then the price point, $100 cheaper. Sony played going into that generation so beautifully smart. They outplayed Microsoft pretty much every step of the way going into that.
Oh yeah, tenfold. Man.
This gen, it has been so weird because Microsoft said we're not making those mistakes anymore.
No.
We're gonna be upfront with everything, and we're gonna give you an actually good package worth whatever money you throw in here. So,
it's so funny. For those of you that are listening that are on Twitter, follow us on Twitter at The Gaming Resume. I'm mainly the one that tweets and does all that other stuff, but I was having this conversation with this dude. He was essentially everybody on Xbox wants to go ahead and play with their friends. We want multiplayer shooters. We want multiplayer games, blah, 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 blah. And I had to chime in. I was like, dude, wait, hold on a second. You're telling me that Xbox is going around and buying all these developers that are known for their single player experiences, and you're telling me that people want to go ahead and focus solely on multiplayer online gaming? Everything that I've seen, it is essentially he was saying that the PlayStation first party games are all cinematic stories, and yeah, I can see that
they
point.
Tend to be.
They tend to be.
I mean,
I
think
can
of
see
the
that.
last three big ones. You got Ghost of Tsushima, that's not out, but of course this is a cinematic single player game. Last of Us 2,
right?
Which that's a really early segue for our next point of conversation, but we get there.
We will.
I mean, Final Fantasy 7, time exclusive, but still exclusive.
Right.
God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon, yeah.
Zero Dawn, yep.
Kind of tend to be single player
experiences, right? And Xbox has always been known for playing with friends.
I wouldn't say playing with friends, but kinda. Like, you got to remember,
Xbox Live. That's what I'm saying. Like, Xbox Live has had the time to mature and had that infrastructure already put into place.
And it started really well. Like, I was one of the first owners of Xbox Live on the OG
I remember,
Xbox.
dude, you were telling me to get it.
Yeah, like, and that shit was hype. Like, I'll never forget playing Halo 2. I'll never forget playing Mech Warrior online. Was it Mech Warrior? I forget the name, but it was like a mech game that you could play online. Even Crimson Skies was another OG Xbox game that I loved playing online. So they started off really well, and they kept that infrastructure going. You know?
Yeah, man. And like, that's the thing. Like, you know, it seems like Xbox is doing whatever they can to not necessarily replicate what the PlayStation or what Sony did with the PlayStation 4, but to get the good and pretty much implant that into their ecosystem that they have. And it excites me. I'm excited for next generation. I'm excited to see what these two companies are going to do, because Nintendo is the pink elephant. They're doing whatever the heck they want.
Yeah, like, let them be. They're obviously succeeding, because everything they've put out has been a friggin', it sells gangbusters.
Animal Crossing. Like, come on. But no, man, I'm excited for the future. I can't wait. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, you know, the platform or whatever, the gamers are the ones that are going to win. As long as these companies keep on duking it out, the consumer is going to win. So I'm definitely excited with everything, you know, that's going on. But yeah,
no. Absolutely, man. This generation we're going into, man, it is very exciting for sure. And the fact that like Game Pass is on PC, I get to play a lot of the exclusives I would have missed out on, because I'll be honest, like, you know, sometimes it's just a little hard to own two major consoles. One, it's pretty expensive. We're talking about almost $1,000 between two. And on top of that, you know, it's like buying all these games, but having Game Pass as an option, it makes me glad to have that, because I get to stay in the loop with a lot of Xbox exclusives, like Ori, for example, and Halo. Right. So they're playing it well. I mean, I'm an Xbox fan. I've loved Xbox for a while. I dropped off through the PS4 era, because honestly, the first party exclusives weren't all that great. But they've had their good stuff, man. They've had Ori, and they still have Halo. So. Yep.
I mean, you know, it's nothing like, you know, The Last of Us. That's for sure. Like, The Last of Us is its own experience that, you know, if you haven't played it, I recommend that you do play it. The Last of Us Remastered is on PlayStation 4. But The Last of Us 2 is coming out. Finally, they have a date.
They do.
But there, and buddy, like, we're gonna get into it in regards to this one. What was it, like a few days ago that this started?
It was this week as well, I believe. Here, I'll tell you. I have a forward.
It was April 28th, right?
April 28th was when they edited this piece.
Okay.
I believe it was the 27th
that it was posted initially.
It was talked about, but yeah.
Okay. So essentially, for those of you that don't know, there was a developer that essentially leaked major plot points as well as cinematic sequences, from what I know, because I haven't seen it. I've completely ignored it.
Right.
Don't be a dick and post comments with spoilers.
Yes, please. If you are aware of the leaks, which for the record, I actually am aware. I looked them up just because of a conversation that we were having on our Discord, and I really need to get the understanding now. And to give you some some idea of why I looked that up, I loved The Last of Us, but I'm not like the biggest fan of it. So I was okay with maybe getting some. I'm not crazy on spoilers. I'm really not. I really don't care. And yeah, I looked it up. And yeah, a lot of people on our Discord unfortunately got spoiled by just jerks that were. Even like Naughty Dog, for example, had a tweet where they said, "Hey guys, we are really. I hate that this happened. We hate that this happened, but." Here we are. Please don't ruin it for everyone. You know, the journey's going to be great. And people on that tweet were posting the spoilers and the leaks. So please, if you are aware of them, don't be a jerk. If you do, trust me, you will not see us anymore. We will. I will make sure you get banned from the channel. You will not see us ever. But anyway, that's the point.
No, ditto.
So yeah, that's the rumor. The rumor is that a disgruntled developer leaked a bunch of dev build footage of major spoilers that happened, of course, in this story. And again, that's a rumor. It hasn't been flat out confirmed. But even Jason Schreier mentioned, he tweeted about that, about workplace conditions, and that's something that there has been discussion on before.
Oh yeah.
Right. Naughty Dog, unfortunately, has been known to have some pretty crappy work conditions for developers and programmers. A lot of crunch, not a good. What do they call it? I think it was like misguided leadership.
Is that how they call it? Is that how they call it? Misguided leadership?
Because one of the big issues that they had at Naughty Dog, because I read on this, was that they just kind of like didn't have a good plan. Like Uncharted 4 was hell, because they the developers would create a bunch of stuff, and all of a sudden like Neil Druckmann and his team would come down and say like, oh, we're gonna change this now to this, and it's like, we just spent a lot of time working on this, and now we have to change all the work we did to facilitate the changes in the story that you want to do. And then it was just like they would work, and a bunch of that work would just get scrapped for other work, because things just kept changing constantly without the proper communication. That was one of the things, and that's besides obviously crunch, because crunch is a whole different
yeah, I mean that causes crunch. If you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna have a story midway through, and then you're going to be like, wait, hold on, let me go ahead and change this and add this and blah, 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 blah. And you have a release date that's coming up, that's going to add crunch. And if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. And guys, if you're listening right now, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But when a developer has to, they have to get approved by the ESRB and submit their full game for rating, I think they have to do their final release. I think that's a month or a month and a half before their actual release date. That's why day one patches are such a thing, because the moment that they release the game, you still have that month and a half to work on the code in order to polish it up and get it up to par as much as possible. And I mean, again,
that's just the ESRB. There's also for any game that you're going to put on one of these digital stores, they have to go through lot checks, right?
Yeah.
So Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, they have a team where they look at the game and test it out themselves. And not just the game, but also any patches that are coming in. They have to test them out, make sure they're not buggy, they're not going to mess with the system or the game itself. So there's a lot of stuff that gets in between, obviously, release and then post-release and even before that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that have to be taken into account. So when somebody goes ahead and comes in and it's just well, we have 6 months and you have to do, 10 months worth of work within these 6 months, it's insane. I want to put a link to that Kotaku article that Jason Schreier wrote about, covering the crunch, in the description below, so that you can see and read. It's a bit of a read, but essentially it gives you a lot of insight into the working conditions that a lot of the developers face working at Naughty Dog specifically. Most of the sources are anonymous for obvious reasons, but it's one of those things that I love the quality that's there, and I can appreciate it, but at the same time, not at the cost of somebody working, 70, 80 hours a week nonstop for a month and a half, just to make ends meet. It's not worth it.
Yep. You really should, if you guys are still listening and you're interested in that, really read that article. I remember reading it myself, and hell of a read. It shines a light on things we don't think about. We don't talk about. I've said it before in previous weekly resumes, but we need to discuss this. Crunch is killing developers. Crunch is hurting good people, And it's how do we fight crunch? You say oh, well, I mean, it's not going to support the game, but then people will argue, oh, but you're not supporting the developers. They're not going to get paid for the work. But it's but they did get paid already, so I don't know. How do you combat, or how do you at least try to help these guys with crunch? People have said they have to make a unionize, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I know that if I remember correctly, there's barely anybody that worked on Uncharted 4 that's there working on The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah. A lot of the people that worked on Uncharted 4 left because of the working conditions. Yep. So then, when you have somebody that's seasoned and knows their way around pretty much the code, the I think it's CS50 that a lot of game developers are used to, that has that work ethic and that knowledge of how things work within the company leave, then you have to go ahead and get a junior developer to come in to cover the spot of somebody else. It's just it's a headache. Logistically, it's a mess, and you're spending more time training people and getting them up to speed with how things work in the workplace than, you know, actually catering and taking care of the people that work for you. It's just it's dumb reverse logic that Naughty Dog and other developers that are known for crunch, I'm talking Rockstar, I'm talking CD Projekt Red, like, they seriously need to get their shit together. Simple as that. It's going to kill them in the long run.
Absolutely. So yeah, hopefully it just stay safe. If you really don't want to get spoiled, definitely obviously be careful on Twitter, and if you get on anything Naughty Dog related or The Last of Us related, just be wary. But man, I will say this, I'm obviously not going to spoil it, but it's spicy. Ooh, it's spicy, man. This is a hell. When this game comes out, a lot of conversations will be happening. I'll tell you that much.
I can't wait.
It's very interesting, man. It weirdly enough, seeing the leak makes me want to get the game more, because oh man, I just can't wait. I actually really like what they're doing. So we'll see, man. A lot of people are very upset, and it's going to be interesting. So
cool.
June 9th. Is it 9th or 19th? I think it's 9th.
June
19th.
I'm not 100% sure, but I wanted to ask you, do you think that, because the release date was of June 19th, that was given after the fact that there was a leak happening. Yeah. Do you think that this was a retaliation or like a response to that leak, the new date?
The new date, possibly, because it was pushed back to July 17th, wasn't it?
No, it was pushed back indefinitely.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
They would have.
Could be.
Yeah.
It was really quick though, because like it was the new dates were posted the same day.
Yeah, on PlayStation blog, like after the leak like went viral essentially.
So I think like it could have been a way to say like, all right guys, we need to get this out at some point. So yeah, possibly. So we'll see. I
mean, it's like we said in the past, them delaying was nothing more than a logistical distribution issue. The game was essentially already done.
Oh yeah,
they had, but because of delaying the game, they had time to polish and get things up to par or whatever it may be. It was just it was set to ship, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, so, it was.
I don't know. C'est la vie. It is what it is.
Indeed.
Anyways, I don't know.
I mean, that's it for this week's resume, or this week's weekly resume. Thanks for listening and tuning in, guys. We are always appreciative of that.
Yeah, man.
This was a fat week. A lot of stuff that went down this week. So next week should probably be just as fat.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see with the Xbox and see what happens with that. Maybe
anything
we'll
else
see.
That may come through. Maybe the next Pokemon will get leaked or something.
We'll see. Maybe that's what Nintendo's working on. Who knows? Anyways, guys, obviously, if you're still listening, we love you.
Absolutely.
More than anything else.
Thanks for, you 10 people that are still listening. We appreciate you. We really, really do.
Yes.
And then since you're already here, I guarantee you're already subscribed and you already like our stuff. But if you don't, I mean, whatever. Hit the bell, because, I hope you enjoyed that, guys.
Holy crap, man, that's awesome. All right, well, anyways, guys, we'll see you on the next one. We'll probably stream after recording this, so
we definitely will.
Yeah.
So from the future, I hope you enjoyed our past stream.
Yeah. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Deuces.
Later, guys.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more and stay up to date, subscribe, hit the little bell, and join our Discord.
If you want to support the channel, please check out our Patreon or hit the join button below. As always, thanks for your support and thanks for watching.